Iceland is an island country at the confluence of the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, east of Greenland and immediately south of the Arctic Circle, atop the constructive boundary of the northern mid-Atlantic ridge, about 860 kilometers from Scotland and 4,200 kilometers from New York City, one of the world's most sparsely populated countries. Iceland's boundaries are almost the same as the main island, the world's 18th largest in area and possessing almost all of the country's area and population. Geology. Iceland has extensive volcanic and geothermal activity. The rift associated with the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which marks the division between the European and North American tectonic plates, runs across Iceland from the southwest to the northeast. This geographic feature is prominent at the Thingvellir National Park, where the promontory creates an extraordinary natural amphitheatre. The site was the home of Iceland's parliament, the Althing, which was first convened in 930. It is a common misconception that Thingvellir are at the juncture between the North American and Eurasian continental plates. However, they are in fact at the juncture of the North American continental plate and a smaller plate called the Repa microplate. About half of Iceland's land area, which is of recent volcanic origin, consists of a mountainous lava desert above sea level and other wasteland. Around 10.2% of the total land area is covered by glaciers, although these are now retreating at an accelerating rate. The four largest Icelandic glaciers are Vatnajökull, Langjökull, Hofsjökull, Miðdalsjökull. Other notable glaciers include Drangajökull, Eyjafjallajökull, Tungnafellsjökull, Þórsjökull, Eiríksjökull, Þrándarjökull, Tindfjallajökull, Torfajökull, Snæfellsjökull. 20% of the land is used for grazing, while only 1% is cultivated. Iceland has lost most of the woodland that previously covered large areas of the country, but an ambitious reforestation program is currently underway. Fossilized tree pollen and descriptions by the early settlers indicate that prior to human settlement, now thought to have occurred from around the year 800 onwards, trees covered between 30 and 40% of the island. Today, however, there are only small patches of the original birch forests left, the most prominent being Hallormsstaðaskógur and Veglaskógur. The inhabited areas are on the coast, particularly in the southwest, while the central highlands are all but uninhabited. Because of the Gulf Stream's moderating influence, the climate is characterized by damp, cool summers and relatively mild but windy winters. Reykjavik has an average temperature of 12 degrees Celsius in July and 1 degree Celsius in January. Statistics. Location. Island in North America, straddling the Eurasian and North American plates between the Greenland Sea and the North Atlantic Ocean, northwest of the British Isles. Geographic coordinates: 65.000 degrees north, 18.000 degrees west, 65.000 minus 18.000. Extent: North Rift Stangi, 66 degrees 32 minutes 3 seconds north. South Kotlatangi, 63 degrees 23 minutes 6 seconds. N. West Bjargtanga, 24 degrees 32 minutes 1 second. W. East Garpia, 13 degrees 29 minutes 6 seconds west. Map references: Arctic region area 39,769 square miles total, 103,125 square kilometers. Land, 100,329 square kilometers. Water, 2,796 square kilometers. Land boundaries 0 kilometers. Coastline 4,970 kilometers. Maritime claims territorial sea 12 nmi. Exclusive economic zone 200 nmi. Continental shelf, 200 nm to the edge of the continental margin. Climate temperate, moderated by North Atlantic current, mild, windy winters, cool summers, damp in the south and west. Terrain mostly plateau interspersed with mountain peaks, ice fields, coast deeply indented by bays and fjords. Elevation extremes. Lowest point, Jokulsalon Lagoon, -146 meters, Atlantic Ocean, 0 meters. Highest point, Havanadal Shnuku, 2,110 meters. Natural resources: fish, hydropower, geothermal power, diatomite, land use, arable land, 1.21%. Permanent crops, 0%. Other, 98.79%. Irrigated land. Total renewable water resources 170 cubic kilometers. Freshwater withdrawal, total 0.17 cubic kilometers. Year per capita 539.2 cubic meters. Year natural hazards: earthquakes, volcanic activity, avalanches, and glacial lake outburst flooding. Environment. Current issues: water pollution from fertilizer runoff, inadequate wastewater treatment. Environment. International agreements. Party 2. Air pollution, persistent organic pollutants, biodiversity, climate change, desertification, endangered species, hazardous wastes, law of the sea, marine dumping, nuclear test ban, ozone layer protection, ship pollution, wetlands, whaling. Signed, but not ratified. Environmental modification, marine life conservation. Geography. Note: westernmost European country, more land covered by glaciers than in all of continental Europe. Antipodes. Iceland is not antipodal to any landmass. The closest to the Balleny Islands off Antarctica, claimed by New Zealand. The antipodes of the northernmost of these, Young Island, lie between Flatey and Grimsey Islands off the north-central Icelandic coast, about 10 kilometers from either. Geological activity. A geologically young land, Iceland is located on both the Iceland hotspot and the mid-Atlantic ridge, which runs right through it. This location means that the island is highly geologically active, with many volcanoes, notably Hekla, Eldingja, Harthabrith and Eldfell. Iceland has many geysers, including geysir, from which the English word geyser is derived. With the widespread availability of geothermal power, and the harnessing of many rivers and waterfalls for hydroelectricity, most residents have access to inexpensive hot water, heating and electricity. See geothermal power in Iceland. The island is composed primarily of basalt, a low silica lava associated with effusive volcanism, as has occurred also in Hawaii. Iceland, however, has a variety of volcanic types, many producing more evolved lavas such as rhyolite and andesite. Iceland has hundreds of volcanoes with approx. 30 volcanic systems active. Maps and images.